In this tutorial, you will learn how to complete the self-assessment on Catalyst. One of the major functions of Catalyst is to identify goals for professional growth for world language educators. Before setting goals, users are able to take an in-depth self-assessment based on the Teacher Effectiveness in Language Learning, or TEL framework domains, which includes environment, planning, learning experience, performance and feedback, learning tools, collaboration, and professionalism. During the self-assessment, you will be able to identify your strengths and identify areas of growth to set meaningful professional goals. Remember, the purpose of the self-assessment is not to make any teacher feel bad or overwhelmed. The TEL framework represents the model world language teacher, and it is unlikely for any teacher to do all of these things at one time. Ideally, you will conduct regular self-assessments to see how your practice is changing as a result of your focused efforts and evidence collection. Once you're logged into Catalyst, there are two ways to complete a self-assessment. Your first option is to locate the self-assessment section on the right side of the dashboard page. Choose Quick Assess. This allows you to quickly glance at each domain and rate yourself for one or more sub-criteria within one or more TEL domains. There are 4 possible ratings. I do this rarely, I do this sometimes, I do this most of the time, I do this with confidence. You can also mark a sub-criterion as I don't do this yet if you have not started working on this area of your practice. You can mark one or more sub-criteria, but no more than 4 at a time, as a goal by clicking on the star icon during your self-assessment. Completing the self-assessment on all of the domains and their criteria and sub-criteria at once can be overwhelming and not productive. Instead, focus on a few criteria and sub-criteria, then self-assess again sometime down the road as you progress toward your goals. Your second option is to click on the TEL framework link and go through each individual criterion and corresponding sub-criteria to self-assess. During this self-assessment, first consider each TEL criterion and ask yourself, how is this characteristic of effective teaching reflected in my current practice? Then rate yourself for each sub-criterion. Later, you will be able to identify evidence to support your reflections and ratings. An ideal next step would be to review the outcomes with a critical friend, mentor, or supervisor. An open and honest conversation about your performance versus ratings will help you clarify your rationale for the levels you selected and set realistic goals for your professional development.